Hello, everybody, and welcome to Meal Solutions Monday, where this month we're taking comfort foods and trying to make them a little bit better for you. My name is Joni Rampolla, one of the registered licensed dietitians with Giant and Martin's. And today we are going to be making chicken pot pie baked potato. Woohoo! Sounds delicious. It's like a mashup of two of the best comfort foods, right? A baked potato and a chicken pot pie. I'm all about that. All right. So this is our recipe and why it's a better for you version of a comfort food, or I say a mashup of two comfort foods, is because baked potato replaces the traditional crust for a lower calorie, lower fat option. It's perfect for that either leftover chicken or when you want to hit the easy button like Perdue Short Cuts or even some rotisserie chicken that you may have. It's budget friendly and it saves time. So there is an hour that the potatoes cook in the oven. So it's not super quick. You can microwave your potato, and I'm going to talk about that later. But time saving because the prep part is only 10 minutes. So you put the potatoes in the oven and then you forget about them for an hour till they're done. So it feels like it's quick. So this month, Purdue Short Cuts is our dietitian pick. So that is what I am using here. Um, just want to introduce it to you if you're not familiar. So it's on the same wall as our fresh meat. After all the fresh meat, some other better for you meat that is there. So this is one. Their chickens are raised, harvested, and prepared in the United States by family farmers. So I know that piece means a lot to a lot of people. The chickens are raised cage free. Each 3-ounce serving of Perdue Short Cuts provides 20 grams of protein. So they are an excellent source of protein. So one bag, and there's the bag pictured, and that is the grilled chicken. One bag contains 2.5 servings. So the chicken is already fully cooked. So all you have to do is warm it up. We are using a skillet, and it says in a skillet, it takes 4 to 5 minutes to warm up. You can warm it up in a microwave. I like it better in the skillet, but both ways work for you. They do have a variety of different seasonings in their Purdue Short Cuts, so you could buy different flavors depending on what you're doing with it. So rotisserie chicken is one. You could do fajita, you can do a hickory smoked, you can do honey roasted or grilled. So they are the different flavors that the chicken strips come in. There's no artificial flavors, no preservative added. It's really a great product and I encourage you to try it. And that is what we're using in our recipe today to kind of hit the easy button, get something that's fully cooked that just has to warm up. So here's the chicken pot pie, stuffed potatoes. Again, it says the whole recipe takes an hour and 10 minutes, but it's really just the 10 minutes of prep, which is nice. Here are the ingredients. So we're using 4 russet potatoes, and you want to scrub them clean, olive oil, unsalted butter, finely chopped onion, carrots, and celery, some all-purpose flour, poultry seasoning, a low sodium chicken broth, whole milk, and then 2 packages of Perdue Short Cuts. And while this recipe says rotisserie chicken, and that may be the perfect option, I bought grilled. So mine is a little bit different, but that's okay. That's just what I happened to pick up when I was at the store. So they come in strips, and we're going to cut them into bite-sized pieces, and then 1 cup of frozen peas. And these are the steps that we're going to follow. So first you preheat your oven to 425, place those scrubbed potatoes on a baking sheet, Rub them with oil, season with salt and pepper, bake 50 to 60 minutes until the potatoes are fork tender. So guess what? I did that part already because I don't have 60 minutes in this class to bake a potato. So mine are already baked, so I'm not doing step one, but I'll walk you through step one in my cooking demo. Then in a 12-inch skillet, melt the butter on medium high, add the onion, carrots, celery, season with salt and pepper. Cook about 6 to 8 minutes until all the vegetables are tender. Then we're going to sprinkle with flour and poultry seasoning. Cook another minute, whisk in the chicken broth, then add the milk, season with salt and pepper, bring to a boil, reduce the heat, cook for like 5 to 7 more minutes, and the flour and the broth kind of make it creamy and smooth. And then we add the chicken and the peas. Cook another 3, 4 minutes until just warm, because again, this chicken is already fully cooked. We're hitting the easy button here. We're gonna cut slits in the top of the potatoes, then kind of squeeze the ends together so the fluff comes out. And then we stuff them. We're gonna spoon in our chicken pot pie sauce over the potatoes. So that is our meal. And let's get cooking. So I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. And I am going to open my Q&A because I didn't see that. How will plant-based chicken make this recipe different is the question. So I love that because you make it your own, right? So you could use just veggies if you want, use a vegetable broth. You don't have to use chicken. You can use a plant-based chicken. You can do anything you want. I just love Perdue Short Cuts, so that is the one that I'm using, but I love to make it your own, right? We all can do that. Can you use cauliflower instead? Absolutely. Enjoy your cauliflower, right? That's what it's all about. Chat was not distracting. All right, I know. It'll come back. On my screen, I'm seeing two small slides with the whole presentation at the top. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't know I had that backwards. My apologies if it didn't come out right. Sorry, yes, I see a lot of comments which I didn't read ahead of time that my slide was small. Do you include macros in the recipe on YouTube? So if you go to the savory site for this recipe, which does get sent out after when you get the recording, you will see the macros. All right, I am gonna get cooking here. So first I'm going to turn on my stove. So I took this potato and I scrubbed it, right? Washed it, scrubbed it, dried it, and then take a little olive oil, and then I'm just going to brush the potato with olive oil. So what brushing the potato with olive oil does is it keeps the skin, the outside of it, the outside stays like crispy while the inside gets fluffy. If you don't want to brush it with oil, of course you don't have to. That just won't make the skin as crunchy on the outside. I know some people put foil around their potatoes, and that's okay too, but then the skin gets really moist. I like it like this. And then you salt and pepper the skin. Just have a plain baking pan. I'll put my potatoes here and open the oven to bake them. And just like TV magic, I have a couple potatoes that are already baked. So we're going to set those aside now as we start making the filling. I love how TV magic works. That's what I call it. All right. So I just have unsalted butter. We're going to take 2 tablespoons and stick it in the pot and let that melt down. Trying to make sure I'm not cooking the paper in there too. So, all right. I see I have nothing to stir it. There you go. Just going to move that around the pot. And then I already cut up some carrots and some celery, and I'll first going to dump them in the pan, then I'll tell you what I did there. So it's half a cup of each: carrots, celery, and onion. And this is my little onion. And I'm going to put that all in the pan. My onion, I hate cutting up onion, so I always buy the already diced. I don't want to cry, and this helps me. For my carrots, I bought these little matchstick carrots. You can take a whole carrot and dice it, but these are kind of little slivers, and I just chop them up a little bit and they come out into teeny little dices. So I thought that was easy for me for this recipe. And then celery, I just bought regular straight up celery. Um, this is the celery heart, so it doesn't have all the leaves on top, but I took each stalk, washed it, dried it with a paper towel, then I cut the stalk in half and then chopped it. So then I had little slivers there. Then, so I used 2 stalks, wasn't quite enough. 3 stalks was more than half a cup. So I went for the 3 stalks. I used them all, so I had a little bit more than half a cup of my veggies in there. But you know what? You do the recipe the way you like it, make it your own. It doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna stir this up in the butter here. Let's see, and this cooks about 6 to 8 minutes. So I have a couple minutes left. So what we're doing here is we have our baked potatoes. We're gonna make the chicken pot pie stuffing and put it inside. But I want to just talk about something else too, like another idea. Um, and that other idea could be, oh, my bag was getting by the fire. I got a little nervous there. I heard something crinkling. We don't want that. Yes, in chat, Joni, your house is on fire. Nope, nope. Um, but yes, just another idea that you could do is this one is we're taking a whole potato, we're kind of squeezing the end so it opens up nicely, and we're putting the stuffing inside. Another idea is a twice baked potato. Same concept. We make everything the same way we are today, except when you open that potato, you scoop out the filling and put it in with your sauce, and then mix that all up, put it back in the skin of the potato, top it with a little cheese, and bake it off. That is a twice baked potato. So 2 ways you can do this. Again, every recipe, make your own. Um, this is Perdue Short Cuts. If you haven't seen one, I know the recipe says grilled chicken. I mean, the recipe says rotisserie chicken. I chose the grilled chicken. Just, I don't know. That's just what I grabbed. Doesn't mean anything. To me, all flavors are going to taste good, just maybe a little different. I keep freezing on the screen. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what that is. Excellent. Thank you. I'm answering some questions now. Like to microwave my potato, and it's crisp on the outside in the air fryer. Yeah, that's a great idea too. Yep, everybody has their own way of doing things. Like for this meal, I did cook the potato for an hour, as it said in the recipe, and I think that makes the fluffiest inside and the crispest outside. But if it wasn't for this meal, I'm using my microwave too to get it done quicker, without a doubt. What is the substitute for poultry seasoning? I mean, that's really whatever you like. Poultry seasoning is just a mix of like the thyme and sage, and I'm not sure what else is in there. Let's see. It is thyme, sage, rosemary, black pepper, nutmeg, in your poultry seasoning. I don't know if there's one ingredient that you're trying to avoid in that blend. I know McCormick makes a rotisserie chicken blend that might even be really good in here too, especially with the Perdue Short Cuts rotisserie chicken. This sounds delicious. Thank you. What if you're gluten-free? Can you substitute something for the flour? Yes, you could use gluten-free flour without a doubt. Let's see how we're progressing here. I think it's looking kind of good. All right, yes. And again, every recipe, make your own. Feel free to adjust it any way you like because everybody eats a little bit differently. So not saying that these are all the exact ingredients um, that you need to use. I just see the question, does Perdue Short Cuts have a low sodium option? I'm going to say no. I think most are around 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. But when you add vegetables to the meal, right, that reduces the overall meal sodium content. So we're not eating the chicken independently. But yes, I, yes, thank you, thank you. Sweet potato instead of white potato. Absolutely. Again, make this recipe your own. That could be very delicious. In change of spices, if I used a sweet potato. My favorite spice, and this doesn't mean it would be good in this recipe, I don't know. But when I use a sweet potato, one of my favorite spices is pumpkin pie seasoning. Like I take a little plain Greek yogurt, put in pumpkin pie seasoning, and lather that on a sweet potato, and that is like my favorite thing. It tastes like dessert. So I don't know if you could incorporate that if you made this a meal, but that's just what I thought of because that's my favorite. But yes, you don't even need additional seasoning if you like the flavor of what you're doing. The broth flavors it. If you're buying Perdue Short Cuts, they have some delicious flavors. You can change the flavor of that as well. So now we are going to add to our vegetables in the pan. Get out my little measuring spoon here. 2 tablespoons of flour. So here is 1 tablespoon. And then here is my second tablespoon. All right, let's mix that up. Show you what that looks like. Just kind of flour coated veggies here. We're going to add our poultry seasoning. And let's see how much poultry seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon. Let's see if I have little teaspoons. I do. So I'm just opening the lid of my little spice. And when you have spices or herbs, you want to keep them away, like the open lid, from steam coming up because the moisture does make them not wonderful. And then we let that just blend for a minute. And then we're going to whisk in the chicken broth. So the recipe calls for low sodium chicken broth. And I happen to have just chicken stock already in my closet, so I didn't buy a new one. So a little bit different, but kind of the same. So this is what I'm using today, but we do sell a great low sodium chicken broth as well. So this is 1 cup. Pouring that in there, my 1 cup. Perfect. And it makes a wonderful sizzle. Whoops, I'll probably need my measuring cup for the milk as well. Close that up. Great. And then just mix this up, and then we're going to add the milk. And I have my milk laying down on a big pad of ice over there because it's out for like an hour and it's go bad on me. So let me go grab my milk. So for this recipe, we're using 1/2 cup of whole milk. I'm just going to measure that, 1/2 cup. Oops. And again, you do you. If you don't do milk, that's fine. I'm just adding the recipe as it reads. Going to stir that up, and that cooks. So we bring it to a boil, then we reduce heat a little bit, let it simmer, and the sauce will thicken. And then once the sauce thickens, we're going to add our hit the easy button, Perdue Short Cuts chicken already cooked in a jiffy that's flavored and wonderful. We're going to add our Perdue chicken. So this is my Perdue chicken. I cut it up into little pieces like this, but it comes in strips. I left 2 of them whole so you can see kind of what it looks like. And this is my other one. So they come in these strips, and I just cut each strip up into little bite-sized pieces. But these are great on a cold salad too. But yes, you could cook with them in like they have the fajita one. You can make your own fajitas and, quick and easy. Like I do the peppers and onions in a pan, and then um, just easy just to add the cut up chicken. So I'm going to give my sauce another minute. It's not quite done yet, but I think I'm going to add my chicken to it anyway so you can see. While that is cooking, I'm going to cut my potato. To put it down here so that I know it's out of your sight. So I just made a slit down it, then you kind of push the ends together, and that opens your potato up, and that's where you put your filling. And my potato has a nice crispy skin and soft, fluffy on the inside. I'm grabbing a plate, put this on the plate. And then we also add a cup of frozen peas. I'm going to add my peas. You know what? I'm just going to cut up these last pieces of chicken that I saved just to show you what they look like when they come whole. There we go. And then we're going to add the chicken to the pan. Stir that up, and then this goes right over your big potato. So I'll give that a minute to heat up. I see we have only 5 minutes left. So while that's heating up, I'm going to look at some of your questions. You don't pierce the potatoes before baking. Oh, such a good question. Yes, I definitely pierce the potatoes before baking. I wash them, I scrub them, I kind of stick a fork in them on each side, and that's just so lets the steam out so they don't, explode in your oven. Great question, Pam. Thank you. Can we use plant-based butter? Absolutely. Make this recipe your own, however you want to do. TV magic. If you're doing up the hard work in advance, absolutely. Just so I can show you what's happening, and I love that. Should you use floury or waxy potatoes for this recipe? So the russet potato is really a good one. Like I personally like Yukon Gold, but the skin doesn't get crunchy on those. So um, the russet or Idaho potato is the best for this recipe. But make it your own. Do what you like. Sweet potatoes stuffed with hickory, Perdue Short Cut chicken. Oh yeah, and rainbow slaw. Oh, that sounds very good. Very good. Yep. That is something an option too. Allowing potatoes to cool reduces the glucose carb effect. Absolutely, they do. So when you take a potato, you cook it and you let it cool and then reheat it to actually eat it. There's more resistant starch in that potato, which means less of the starch is actually absorbed. Resistant starch means we don't absorb it. So yes. Would rinsing the shortcuts under cold water help reduce salt? Um, it might. Yes, you're also going to lose seasoning, so it won't taste the same. Yeah, another love the chat is disabled. Gotcha. Can you show the little jar of poultry seasoning? Oh, absolutely. I just use McCormick brand. It's just called poultry seasoning. I will say I am a fan also in the produce department. And I know they're hard to find, but in the produce department, we have Lighthouse spices, and they also have a poultry seasoning that I think is wonderful. So theirs are not dried like on the spice aisle, they're freeze dried. So they rehydrate, tasting like fresh. So I'm going to say this is now done and creamy. Let's show you what this looks like. Trying not to spill it on my computer. Ooh. There you go. Look at that. It looks so good. So then I take my potato. We are going to top it off here. And that is our meal. My Perdue Short Cut. Hit the easy button. Stuffed baked potato. And again, if you want to throw some cheese on here, I don't know, that kind of sounds good to me too. And just pop it in the oven for a little bit more, let the cheese melt. That might be delicious. But it's a very good, drippy, warm comfort food. Has a good amount of protein in it, help keep you full and satisfied. And we love it. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.